But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
What's going on, everybody? We are here at episode 58 of Illegal Ham in the Face. I am that fat guy. I am here with Big Bry.
Hey, guys. Happy wedding week, Vinny.
Hey, thank you very much.
And always my cousin Vinny. Vinny, poke your head in here for a second so everybody can see you. There he is. All right,
morning,
so it
everybody.
is Vinny's wedding week. We are down to, what, 4 days?
Yeah, this
Let's
Saturday
see here. Rehearsal dinner
so-
is Thursday. Saturday we get married.
Yep.
And Saturday we win our trip to Vegas.
I love the sound of
See?
it.
All right, we got to be confident. By the way, our show is brought to you by the APA of Lake Erie. Lake Erie APA does all Western Cuyahoga County. They take care of tournaments. We are in a 9-ball tournament right now. It is the largest amateur pool association with over 250,000 people. You can win a trip to Vegas playing as a team, playing as a single in 9-ball or 8-ball, in doubles. Jack and Jill. There's a handicap, a wheelchair wheelchair tournament. They have everything and anything for you to get to Vegas and try to get a chunk of that change from everybody all around the world. Japan, Canada, everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, Bri, and I am rocking the camouflage APA hat, which Bri is going to get one here soon. It's got the American flag on the back.
Cool.
Also, the Pool Players Association shirt. So, we got that going on for us. But, Bri, after I did this, I got to bring in our special guest. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
He is a championship winning coach and host of Voice of Land podcast, part of Big Play Sports. We are bringing in Kevan Arnold. There's the championship trophy, Bri.
Wow, look at that.
What's up, guys?
What's going
It's
on,
so
buddy?
big you can't even fit it in the screen.
I know. I'm trying to adjust the screen just to get that trophy in there, man. I took too many second places in my time playing soccer, so finally getting the team to first, man. I had to enjoy it for a little while.
Now, we're not going to say what it's first in. It is not a major league sport. It is a 13-year-old soccer sport.
Yep. Travel. Yeah. So
that's right. It's a
That's
championship.
awesome.
Just rock it out.
playing teams that were basically bringing premier level players down to the travel level to try to win a tournament and, just kick that, you know what. So no big deal.
Nice.
So, Vinny, why don't you give us the rundown for today and what we're getting into?
You got it. So first up, we'll go over our shout outs. We'll do the word of the day, trivia, which is your turn.
I know, I can't wait. I'm going to go after both of you on this one.
No, you don't stand a
Oh,
chance.
yeah, I am.
As usual, we'll cover little calves and Indians. And Fat Boy Tuesday, we have summertime fruits coming up. And our top three tonight is moments from the Cavs 2016 championship. We had our 5-year reunion with that. So,
all right. So I picked summertime fruits for you, big guy, because with your gluten-free and your lactose, there's not much of Fat Boy Tuesday you can actually get into.
I mean, I'm getting into it a little bit. You know, I'm finding my way.
So, first thing I got to ask before we get to our shout outs, how did the seat feel when you came back to Voice of the Land? Because I got really comfortable in that seat. Like, I made myself really comfortable in that seat.
I mean, it felt good, man. It felt, felt like it just fit me right this time. So, you know, I think you really warmed it up for me. I had to. It was tough to live up to getting back on the show, man. After you guys just knocked it out of the park, man. I was like, whoa, I didn't remember how to drive the ship anymore.
Well, that's probably because of Space Jam, which.
Oh yeah, I was flustered by that.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
That was on my mind like all week long. Just taking my movie to the cleaners, man. Not gonna let it happen.
All it's called Space Jam trash. As a kid, it's okay, but as an adult watching it back, it was trash. I'm like, I don't know. Some of the lines are still pretty funny.
Has the second one come out yet?
No, that's like middle of July, I think.
Okay, so not too far away.
I'm already setting myself up to like know that it's not going to be very good.
Right.
So if it is good, then all the more power to it. If it's not, I really didn't have high expectations. I love LeBron, but I don't know if you can necessarily like reignite this flame and get something good out of it. So we'll see. I'll still watch it, but I told Paulus, I said, if you don't like Space Jam, man, I'm just sorry about your life. I don't know. Just go sit in a corner or something. I don't know.
Well, he got me hooked on Star Wars. I hope you know.
Oh, did he really? Well, that's good.
He made me watch The Mandalorian, and I am like 6 episodes in right now. And
I love The Mandalorian.
I can't get enough of it. Like
So
Baby Yoda, everything. Like it's actually really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
So don't tell him that though. Don't tell him.
And the Marvel series that they've been having going on.
Oh, I know.
Loki's going right now.
Yep.
Disney Plus is doing it right. They're doing it right.
I've actually watched the Big Shot and the new Little Ducks, the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Those are actually both really good put together shows.
Are they? I haven't had a chance to check those out yet.
You would love Big Shot because it's about a college basketball coach who went a little bit Bobby Knight and now has to coach a girls' prep school in high school because he can't get a college gig.
Oh, all right.
So it's actually really good. I've watched the first season of it. I think it's amazing. I really do.
Well, that's one I definitely wanted to check out because after the trailer, I was like, this actually looks pretty good. Like, it's not just MCU; it's Disney Plus in general. It's Disney Entertainment. They found a way to keep people hooked on stuff during quarantine. Now that people are getting out, they don't think they want to. They just want to sit in front. And I think everybody wants to binge watch a lot of these shows that they're putting out too. But of course, they do it and they get you.
Yeah.
They release one a week, and then they make you come back every single week. So you can't just do that free trial, binge watch your show, and move on. So
you know what I found myself going back and watching on Disney Plus was Gargoyles.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that too. That and the old Mighty Ducks animated series.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tried to get my kids to watch it, and they're like, "What is this, Dad?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry, it's not Pixar like we got into today, where it's all nice and shiny." And
this was.
I was gonna say those gifts were wanting me to go watch some Pixar movies tonight, man.
I asked Kevin before on Twitter if he was ready to come on with us, Bri, and then it just got Pixar after that. It was Finding Nemo. It was
Toy Story.
It went to Cars. It went. Even Jay got into it. And by the way, we got to say a little bit of prayers for Jay.
Yeah,
partially toward Achilles.
I was there.
Oh, did you hear
there when it happened? I didn't hear a pop, but they had like bases loaded. I think there was one out, so he had to go. So he starts running from third to home, and like I looked away for a second because there was a play going on. Like they were trying to fumble the ball around on defense with the other team, and I turned back, and all I hear was like this loud scream, and he goes down the ground, and I was like, no. Just seeing so many non-contact injuries, the way that guys go down. So I ended up, driving his car and driving him over to, emergency room to get the initial testing done. That's what they're thinking. I think he's got to get like an MRI just to kind of confirm. But luckily, fortunate for us, Dr. Jana was on the case to kind of get the initial treatment. So we got him to the right spot in the right direction to start that healing process as quickly as possible. But yeah, prayers up to him. Mm. That was not an easy thing to see at all. So glad he's in good spirits, but wishing him nothing but the best during his recovery.
Well, that's our first shout out for tonight.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Oh, or shout outs yet? Okay.
So, well, I mean, we were reminiscing. We haven't seen Kevin forever. We're getting ready to have with him. I mean,
it'll be a 2-hour show.
Well, that's all right. It's our show. We can take it however long we want to, right, Kev?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's what we were told about ours too. Yeah, we're in control.
As long as it's organic and everything's going good, we're not flubbing it up like we will be later. Actually, no. I got the Browns table tonight, so no, we are not going 2 hours.
No. But I mean, do we really have to talk that much about Cavs though today? Because draft lotteries today.
We gotta know.
No. We have been saving Cavs for you. We've been dipping our pinky toe in it. We're waiting till Kevin comes on so we can talk about this.
Reminiscing, I'm good for talking about the team the way it is now.
Wait, we haven't got into the show yet. You got to wait for that. You got
been a while.
All right, so Brian, you got your shout outs today?
Yeah, I was a busy boy this weekend. I went around to a few different places, so let me shout out a brewery here in Medina called Blue Heron Brewery. It was a former golf course, and it shut down, but it has this massive clubhouse, and they kind of turned it into a brewery event center. Their patio is unbelievable. They got a tremendous view. Usually, we were there on Friday. Usually, they have live music there, but because of the weather, they didn't this time. So go check them out. Good food. Good beer. I got a flight of beers, those tiny little 4-ounce beers that it's like $10-12, so it wasn't too bad. And then on Saturday, I ended up playing 9 holes of golf, and because it was a 3-hour 9-hole round, we cut it short, and we went to it was bad. We got stuck behind an outing, so we just said screw the other 9. We'll get a rain check for it. So we went to the bar, and we went to a place called Wild Eagle Saloon out there, and I think Brecksville, North Ridgeville, or North Royalton. Have you heard of that?
It's a good spot.
It's right off 77.
So
it's
almost we have to go.
I check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, there's one downtown, but it's kind of smaller.
Yeah, right.
More games there, but they got games and good food, and
it kind of reminded me of the Foundry.
It
was a lot like the Foundry without the go-karts, but the coolest thing about it for me was they have this wall of like 32 taps, all craft beers, and you put money on this card, and you just go up and you swipe your card, and you can get like 3 ounces of beer, and it just charges your card. So it might be they charge you like 50 cents an ounce or something. So you just swipe your card. I put $10 on it, fill up 3 ounces, drink it. I go to another one, fill up 4 ounces there, and I just move around, and you can try like 10 different beers for $20 or whatever. So
no kidding.
That was really cool to me. So I will be going back there. We didn't eat there, but I was told they have some pretty good steak too. So check it out.
Good wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll definitely go back then.
So Vinny, you got any shout outs? I mean, it's wedding week.
It is wedding week.
Yeah,
absolutely. Huge shout out. I got family in travel right now. Some of them even possibly listening to the show.
Oh,
store.
Papa.
Yep.
Papa.
Yep. My father, he's on his way on down with his wife Christine, so we can't wait to have them.
You guys can't see this. He is smiling so much right now. He's like so excited. Actually, he's ready to get it done and over with.
Yeah,
so it's done. That's where he's at. That's the mode he's in right now. I want it done.
I've already feel like I'm already married. So
well, you've been married since high
school.
This is just
of everything.
I mean, in your head, you've been married since high school. So it's okay.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yep.
Make it official.
Exactly.
So we will have a
So-
very special shout out on next Tuesday
Right.
for the happily married couple. You guys are going to what, Myrtle Beach, right?
Yes, we are.
All right. So
Yep.
that
Cool.
honey, Myrtle Beach.
We'll be leaving Monday.
See, look, God, I'm jealous. I would love to go to Myrtle Beach. My wife says no, but that's all right. So, Kevin, do you have any shout outs you want to bring to the show?
I do. Sibling Revelry Brewery or Brewing in Westlake. They had the event with Big Play and the Scottish Hammer, Jamie Gillen, punter for the Cleveland Browns. Some good snack food there, but more so about the beer. And they have a gluten-free beer, so I was able to have my first.
Get out of here!
I was able to have my first beer in about 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Because
How was it?
It was gluten free and couldn't taste the difference at all, honestly. So
Really?
it was
That's
really
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
And when you buy their pretzel bites, and it looks like an appetizer because very small food menu that they have there. It's just kind of a get together, kind of sit back, kick back with a few drinks or whatever. Man, you get a healthy portion of their pretzel bites. So
Bonus.
yeah, we had pretzel bites all over the table. You couldn't see it on the screen when we were going live, but they were all over the place. We should have just bought 2 and then everybody shared because everybody started buying them and we had way too many left over.
Impossible.
It's really bad, Bri, is we were invited, but I had the Twinosaur's birthday on Friday. So we had a water balloon fight and a slip and slide. And of course, my chubby ass went down to slip and slide. I have video for you so you can see it later. You'll laugh at it.
I'm good. I'm good.
I was wearing clothes, I think.
What, t-shirt contest?
So how big is Jamie in person? Like his arms look like they're massive.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good size. And but just an all around just good dude, down to earth. And
Looks like you guys had a blast with him.
he was shotgunning beers with Browns fans. He was
Nice.
chug contest with Dave, and
Hey,
Sweet.
I didn't even know they were starting. I honestly looked away for a second. I looked back, and his cup was empty.
Brian, this chug contest was like the most pathetic chug contest I have ever seen. He went like this. He's like the guy from the Man Show with the.
Oh no.
He
Really?
slammed it back. Padone is still sipping on his. He goes, I'm not in this.
He didn't even finish.
And Dave is still trying to catch up. There's no catching up. Gillen's looking at him going, come on, you can do it. There it is. There it is.
He's
Like,
living the life, man.
I mean, he just downed that thing like that.
Mm-hmm. It was a great event and just a great place to kind of be there. They were all the workers very welcoming and so helpful, and it was for a great cause as well. So shout out to them for sure. Sibling Revelry Brewing in Westlake.
All right. Thank you. It is now. I don't even have a sounder for Vinny's. And this is new to you, Kevin. My cousin Vinny's word of the day.
I heard this last week.
All right. So, my cousin Vinny, why don't you give us our word of the day?
Well, quick shout out again to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So that's where I'm going to end up pulling them all.
New sponsor.
One from the weeks past.
All right, let's do it.
Let's give this one a shot.
All right. Put it right into the microphone.
Yeah. And
Jockened.
that is our word of the day.
Jockened is our word of the day.
Can I have a word of can I get a definition?
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to come up with a
Use it
definition.
in a
right?
sentence.
That's all right. We got to wait till after the end of the show.
That's right.
But
Jeez.
It is. Let me turn up our volume on this guy to make sure. Yep, we're good here. It is my turn for trivia, so let's play a trivia sounder.
Yeah.
All right. Our trivia is always brought to you by Curb Appeal Landscaping and Papa V at curbappeal419.com. All right. So being nostalgic as we are, it is the 5-year anniversary of the Cleveland Cavs championship, which Brian gave us a wonderful shout out last week about it. But in that championship, we came back from 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The final game 7 of your Cleveland Cavaliers had 8 players play in the game. We all know the starting 5, right? You got JR, you got Kyrie, you got LeBron, Tristan, Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Well, you name me the other 3.
Name you the other 3 Cavs players that played in
Game
Game
7,
2016.
2016.
Okay.
Good question. I like that.
Yeah, like that.
All right, so let's save that till the end of the show. First off, we are going to get in. I'm going to flip it around first. We're going to get into the Cleveland Indians. All right, we've had another pitcher go down. Savali's hurt, so our pitching staff is now just a bunch of, I don't even know. Bartolo Colon should be up here. I but they still hanging on. They still keep going on. And, you know, your buddy, my buddy, Mr. Paulus brought it up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think this team would be at if Bobby Bradley was called up right at the beginning? Because he has lit a spark in this offense like you wouldn't believe.
See, I know he says that we would be in first place or contending. I mean, we're already contending for first place, and we were beforehand anyways. We weren't that far out of it without him up here. We were kind of surprising people as it was. But to be in first place, that was his initial thought. And that's what he told me when Bobby Bradley got the call. Like, we were texting back and forth about that. You know, the Indians would be in first place. We would be in control. I don't know that that's necessarily true because he's a guy that couldn't win the job out of spring training. And one of the 2 question marks that we had, whether it was outfield or first base, couldn't win the job. And then, of course, they put him down to AAA and wouldn't call him up until you get through all the time where they can control his future and how long he's here. The Indians
that's just a money thing, right, Kevin?
Yep.
That's just a money thing, right?
It's a money thing for the organization. I think that doing that, though, I don't know that this was their intention, but I think that actually helped Bobby Bradley reset his mind and kind of rejuvenate himself, because once he was called up here, he knew the job was his. And, you know, it just seems like he's playing with more of an ease and no sort of – it always seemed like he was kind of uptight, or like he was trying to press. He was trying to show all those big prospect things that people knew he could do, popping his bat, trying to prove it defensively. Now he's just playing baseball. He's getting paid to play a kid's game, and that's what he's doing. Like, that's how he's approaching the game. Like, that's the look in the eye that I see. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I think we'd be in a similar situation that we are now if he was up here before. He may have put himself down to AAA if he started here and left himself there the whole season instead of starting there, rejuvenating himself, coming up when it's right, and just playing baseball the way it's meant to be played.
So, Brian, what I brought up was, well, he won the job outright. I believe he did in spring training, but they had to see what they wanted with Jake Bauers. Now that Jake Bauers is gone, he's got all the confidence in the world because nobody's taking his spot at first base anymore. And I think that has a lot to do with it. What do you think about this call up that with Bobby Bradley that we really haven't really got into? I mean, he's actually spurred the offense. I mean, I think you and I were joking around one day where he's batting like 400 and like he's got 5 home runs and 8 RBIs, more than the 2 guys that were playing first base before.
Yeah, and I think you know, there's no doubt he was probably frustrated because he thought, you know, what more do I have to show these guys for them to give me an opportunity? And we all thought, all the fans were looking around. We're like, why not give this young guy a chance? I mean, we saw him a couple of years ago and he didn't do much with that. But yeah, like Kevin said, I think he's just playing freely. And I don't know if you could really foresee these type of numbers that he's putting up these last few weeks, because it's not like he was an MVP of the AAA Columbus team or anything like that. So I think something's just clicking with him. He's finally just comfortable, and let's just hope he can continue it for as long as he can, because we're going to need a lot of runs over the next few weeks.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, how do you guys feel about the starting pitching? Savali's down, Bieber's shut down. We still have Plesac out with a phantom finger break, hand, whatever. And now we're on the backside with people that are unproven and are sporadic at best. And now we got to piece it together. Are you worried that Tito is going to work the bullpen too hard here in these middle sessions?
I mean, he kind of already has been to a certain extent too. I mean, when he's got those three guys, you got the setup to the setup, and closer. I mean, those guys get used as much as possible. So, I mean, that's always been one of my only concerns with Terry Francona. I trust his decision making and think he's one of the best managers in all of baseball, in baseball history. But he's loyal to a fault to his pitching staff. And now the pitching staff that he knows he has confidence in, you may see him rely on them a little bit too much. And if they end up in the playoffs at the end, may see the similar situation that's always done the Indians in. The guys you relied on the whole time, and it takes pitching in the playoffs. It's not there. This next month and a half is going to be vital for this team to really figure out, can they piece any sort of rotation together? Because when those guys were healthy, 4 and 5 were non-existent for this team anyway. So now 1 through 5, boy, I don't envy the stress and the process Terry Francona is going to have to go through to try to figure this out until guys really start coming back.
Brian, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a coaching job for Francona. This could be one of his biggest challenges of his career, because we're basically down to the studs here. We got a bunch of unproven guys, and he's going to have to keep a focus towards August and towards September, and not try to burn out the guys that he's going to need then. And that's kind of what gives me a little bit of comfort, is that Francona's been through almost everything, and he's got that, he's a veteran. He's been through it before. He's not going to, sacrifice our future for our right now. And so if that means keeping a starter in there that doesn't have the right stuff, that has given up 3 runs in the first inning or 10 runs in the first 4 innings, sometimes you just have to fold it up and say, maybe today is not our day, rather than going through our studs in the bullpen 2 innings each or something like that. And so, right now we talked about it last week. We're just in stay afloat mode. We're probably not going to make a run over the next couple weeks. We just got to save our energy, get guys healthy, and push in August and September and try to catch the White Sox then, because it's probably not going to happen right now.
Well, we are 10 above 500. So, I mean, I didn't expect that from this team. I expected us to just be hovering around 500, but they have found ways to sneak them out and get them done. And, some kudos to them. Let's see what happens up here with the next few weeks with the injuries and everything. We got Franmil back in rehab right now. He's doing he's playing in Lake County.
He's going to AAA, actually. He was doing some running of the bases, I think, before one of their games on Sunday. He was down at Lake County just getting some individual work in, and they're going to send him to AAA to get some at bats down there.
So he's down at Columbus then.
Yeah.
All right. So he's getting a rehab start tonight. Shane Bieber is the one that I worry about, because that's your ace in the hole. I mean, that's what you're guaranteed at least can give you 5 innings. Other than that, you can't guarantee anything else.
Well, I read the injury the way it was worded on MLB's update to the physical therapist in my household, and the look she gave was not one that gave me much confidence.
Are we thinking this might be a Corey Kluber kind of shoulder strain that's going to keep him out for a while?
It's possible,
Trying
but hoping for it to be kind of a, something it's not too bad, and being a little bit younger, able to come back a little bit sooner, but come back right. Don't try to just come back, and shoulders,
right.
any sort of injury like that as a pitcher, you come back too soon. Now you're putting yourself in a deep hole if you aggravate it, and you're having to take longer to rehab than you would have the first time rehabbing it the right way.
Yeah, and let's just hope they're smart about it, which I'm sure they will be, because if we can't have him back at full strength this whole year, then we're going to be counting on Bieber for the next 2, 3, 4 years going forward. So hopefully they have that vision that we're going to need this guy. It's not time to push all the chips to the middle, because this is our only chance with them.
Well, Princess is here. Princess has made her debut again. Jeez, I love that dog. Well, that means we got to transition over to our Cleveland Cavaliers. And this is why we brought Coach Kev. I said Coach Kev this time. Coach Kev on. Because the ping pong balls drop tonight. We'll see where we end up at. Anywhere between, you got to get in at least the top 5 to get a game changer, right?
Yeah, I think it's they're saying top 4 or top 5.
I hope top 4.
It keeps going down. I heard top 5 or 6 at one point, then top 4. Some people even think top 3 with Cunningham, Suggs, Kuminga. If you don't get in that, then you're hoping for something to just be more than what it looks like it is. But then that's a player that takes 2 or 3 years to really, really show that. Most guys that they play above their draft stock as time goes on, it's usually by like year 2 or 3. So now we're basically on the same track next season as we were this season.
So just a quick question. If we don't get it, let's just say the top 4, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I heard there is who's the sitter from USC?
Oh, Mobley?
Yes. If we should happen to draft him at 5, we got plenty of sitters, right?
Yeah.
Is it like best player available? Do we bring him in and kind of, let's just say, piss off Jared Allen? Or do we package him and get a couple other picks later on, knowing that we don't need a sitter, we need help elsewhere?
Wow, that's an interesting scenario. That becomes the thing. And I mean, this team is guards and centers. We don't have wing players.
No.
We have a guy that can defend on the wing and can defend most positions in a Coro, but his size kind of gears more towards, if you're going to go traditional positions, that gears more towards a 2, honestly. So now you're filtering a bunch of guys through a 1 and a 2, and you don't have that traditional 3. Like, who's that guy that can go get their shot? They can go get theirs when everything becomes stagnant out there. They can play make for others, but when things really need a kickstart and they can go get theirs out there on the floor, who is that guy? That's the piece that they're really missing. If Mobley is there at 5 and you're talking about packaging him and a couple picks, I don't know, that might be, you might see that move kind of happen, and then that's the red blinking light or indicator to you that, look, next season we're again in that same boat and trying to get that as best of odds to get a top pick that we can. I mean, we've been fortunate in our history with top picks, but I don't know. I don't like the odds that we have, because I think the lowest they can go is 8 or 9, but that's so far that, like, in a draft like an NBA draft, that is so far away from such a very small group of talented players that can change your franchise.
Yeah, but you can also find players there. like Brian and I talked about this.
Mhm.
There's got to be a player in the back end of this draft. I mean, you've had players
Right.
picked later on that have turned into superstars. I mean, Giannis, you had Leonard.
Kawhi.
Kawhi.
Yep.
Is there a guy like
Lillard.
that you
Yeah.
like that could be that guy? You know, if need be, if we drop down to, let's just say, if we ping pongs, blah, 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 pong, 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 blah, 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 blah. If the ping pong balls fall the wrong way, we get like 8th. Is there a guy there that you would be like okay with? Because the way I see it, you know, it's top 4 or bust.
Mhm.
And I think the Cavs need a top 4 or bust because, like you said, they need a scorer. I love Colin Sexton, but they need a guy that can do it whenever he wants to.
See, right now, I don't see one, but I always dig a little bit deeper once the draft order is really kind of set, because the teams that are in the ping pong ball race and have some of the best odds, you know exactly what they need and why they had the record that they had. And once it kind of sets, those top 4 go off the board, and that's basically a given. It just depends on which team they're going to. Then you got to look at the rest of the prospects that are in the draft. I got to do some more digging. That's something I'm going to have to get back to you guys on, depending on what pick we get. I mean, if we're top 4, that conversation doesn't really need to happen. But if it's a lower pick or even, just outside that top 4, if we stay pat at 5, that's how the ping pong balls go. I'll dig a little bit deeper. Like I said, it's usually that month leading up to the draft. That's where I try to go see if I can find those diamonds in the rough. Go back to what I watched during the tournament and all those other things to really, really pinpoint a guy. After the shock wears off of, oh well, we don't get a top guy. Let's see what actually is out there, and actually take a hard look and a real look at this, and don't just fan so hard and think the world is coming crashing down. I try not to do that as much as I can.
So I got some guys here in front of me, and it's a lot of the top guys. We'll start with and I won't ask you about every single one of them, but do you think is Cade Cunningham, is he the number 1 pick? No doubt.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
So if we get one, we're going Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, I really like Jalen Suggs, but that's if you are after 1. That's my guy is Jalen Suggs. It's Cade Cunningham, and then everybody else.
I'm with you. He's got it all. He's 6'8", point guard. He shoots 41% from threes. So I think that's a guy like Jalen Suggs scares me a little bit, just because I don't know. I feel like we got something like him already. 6'4", smaller-ish guard. He's a playmaker. Don't get me wrong, but if you get him, then you're almost giving up on either Sexton or Garland. Mobley we talked about. Yeah, people compare him to like a Chris Bosh, but another guy I was intrigued with was Jalen Greene. 6'5". He played in the G League, but he's small. It's hard for me because I look at these guys kind of like I look at NBA players, which maybe isn't fair to them because they still have a lot of maturing to do. But he's only 165 pounds, so that scares me. So I'm like you. I'm looking for a wing player that is maybe a little bit bigger and can shoot it a little bit. So guys that I was looking at, Jalen Johnson's not bad from Duke, and the fat man's going to call me a homer, but Wagner from Michigan.
Oh, Wagner.
I don't want him, but on paper, he's what we need. He's 6'9". He shoots almost 40% from threes.
I take it Bob film. Is that Bill making her debut?
Oh, yeah. But, he's not great. A sleeper that maybe I was thinking of and looking at was Moses Moody from Arkansas. 6'8", shoots it pretty well. I think we need somebody like that. 6'8", 6'9", can play the wing, and we can maybe pair up with our smaller backcourt that we have, and even Okoro if he's playing the 3, just to give us some athleticism. And I was talking to the fat guy a couple weeks ago, and I was tough on Okoro, just because
You were
I'm
really
right there with
tough.
you. I'm right there with you, honestly.
I was, a top 5 pick. He only scored 20 plus points a couple times this year. Do we have a lot of hope in him? Is it too young to tell? Because whenever I bring that up, everyone says, well, he's just a defensive guy. He's a developmental guy. But we drafted him at 5 overall. There are guys on the first team All-NBA that were taken behind him. So are you still hopeful about him? Are you kind of like starting to sour on him? Need to see more or what?
I'm not souring on him. And if someone were to come to me and say that they're totally done with Okoro, they need him to go, he's a bust, I would debate them all day. I mean, I don't know if things would get heated on it, but I would at least debate them all day on that because these kids are young. And, you look at an NBA draft versus an NFL draft. Yeah, 7 rounds to 2 rounds, but the drop off in talent pick to pick is more like the drop off in talent round to round in the NFL. Like if you're in the first round, you're getting someone that's going to contribute, what possibly start for you if you're later on in the first round, but they're still going to have a major impact and be what you expect out of a first round talent. In the NBA,
right?
Again, top 3, top 4 picks are made out to be sure things. Of course, nothing is a sure thing in professional sports and prospects and guessing and opinions or whatever. But the experts say these are the top guys, and they usually perform pretty well. And then it's a huge drop off as you go. My thing with Okoro is he's good defensively. I think he easily fell into, and young and naive, fell into the typical Cavs trap of defensive philosophy. That's what really needs to change is the philosophy and the culture. And it's not getting through to these young guys. They can go out there, they can score, they can impress some of these other stars around the league, like Draymond Green saying that Darius Garland is, he is that dude. He's a real dude. And he's one of the toughest guys he had to guard this year. You can say all that, but if you don't have the culture behind it, they're talented players, and yet we're not winning. So is it the coach? Are the players not as talented? And Okoro he got lost in defensive transitions and through screens throughout the year. Like, just go be that dog out there. Go get the best guy or one of the best guys on the floor and be the defensive stalwart that we knew you were. And each offseason, keep adding things to your game. That's what Kawhi Leonard did. I'm not saying he's going to be Kawhi Leonard, but that's the mold, that's the process to follow as someone that does one thing really well, has question marks on the other. You can answer a lot of those questions very quickly by just taking it step by step and succeeding at what you do well and adding everything else on to be icing on the cake.
Yeah, this will definitely be a big off season for him. See if he can hopefully take the next step to add some offensive game. And to transition from Okoro to the guy who chose Okoro, how do you feel about the Cavs bringing back Altman?
I don't know. I just
that look says it all.
Boy, Bri, you were sledgehammering everything tonight.
Well, I gotta know, because I was in the camp of he's got to go. He hasn't progressed this team any closer to a championship or even a playoff spot, I don't think.
So I want to preface this by saying, continued prayers out to Dan Gilbert, because dealing with, I believe it was, a stroke or something like that, the health issues that he went through. That's why we haven't seen much of him. And I know it's been, a difficult year plus for them, just personally and health wise. But if he's still kind of talking to the front office, and if he's directing Altman on these things, like some people have these theories of, or have these conspiracy theories of, then you're easily manipulated to do those things instead of kind of being a strong front office executive that is able to go to the owner and has a good enough relationship and rapport with them to say, like, this won't work, or this is why what you're telling me isn't good for where you want this team to go. So if he's being manipulated, that's not a good thing. If he is the one making the calls haven't really helped this team progress and be in a position to actually compete again in the NBA. Like even getting into the play-in, getting these guys bright light experience can do wonders for certain guys. You look at the Phoenix Suns in the bubble last year, and again, I'm not saying that this is the Cavs' exact track, but there are blueprints in place that can be followed. So if he's pulling the strings, if Altman is pulling the strings, hasn't done a good job, needs to go. If he's easily manipulated and just doing what other people tell him to do, knowing that they won't work, that's not good. You need to go. So if they're going to keep him on for this year, there's a lot of guys within this organization that have. This is probably the most crucial offseason for them and this team that we have seen in a while. The honeymoon of the championship that ended. That ended for me a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Most of Cleveland's still feeling it, but at some point the standards have to go back to. It's time to compete and not just be the drudge of the league that is everybody knows is an easy win, and people see you as taking the professional tank path every single season. Enough is enough for me.
Yeah, because we've been so bad for the last 5 years. It's really 3 years. It seems like the championship was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it's awful.
So before we switch on to Fat Boy Tuesday, there's two questions I got to ask you before we go.
Okay.
First off, if the Cavs should land in the top 3 with the ping pong ball of destiny, and they draft a guard, what happens to our backcourt? Who goes?
Oof.
Because right now you have Sexton and Garland, who are both undersized guards. And if we draft another guard, let's just say that's 6'5", that's not a true point guard, that's a shooting guard, who goes?
Well, you can't get them all minutes, so one of them does have to go. I kind of want to see more out of Darius Garland than I do Colin Sexton, even though I love Colin Sexton's game. But if you make me choose one that goes, Darius Garland, because I think this organization really has a lot behind Colin Sexton, and rightfully so. I want to see both of them back here, so another guard would just put my head and just make it explode trying to think about all that. But if they draft another guard, one has to go, and it would probably be Garland, who hasn't been on the floor as much as Sexton and hasn't been able to show as much as Sexton to this organization.
So at that point in time, who's the point guard then? Because we know Sexton can't be the point guard because he's not obviously good at it. So the reason why I brought it up is because wonderful rumblings out of Philadelphia about a Ben Simmons. Oh, look at him roll his eyes and just get. Oh yeah, just soaking it. All right, but there is right.
I know.
There's rumblings that Ben Simmons to Cleveland. So at that point in time, if we draft a guard, are we getting Ben Simmons?
I hope not. I really hope not, because I don't know how you turn around that jump shot. I mean, Giannis is a freak of nature athlete that just imposes his will enough of the times to help the Bucks win. But if a team kind of baits him into taking that early jump shot and he makes it, he kind of falls into the LeBron mode of just taking jumpers, and he's not going to make nearly as many as LeBron does. And LeBron doesn't even make enough in the league. You look at Ben Simmons, he can't even get that first one to go in. And he shot 33% from the free throw line in the series against the Hawks. 33% at the free throw line.
Awful.
And I'm not saying that you guys want him. I know what the rumblings are. I've heard it all.
Kev, the only reason why I bring it up, he's still only like 23 years old. He's still a young buck. It's not like he's got tread on the tires where he's LeBron James.
All right, but he's
I
been a
think
part of
his-
that process for a
his-
while.
I think his confidence is completely shot. And
Well-
I think Philly fans, and Philly fans are ruthless.
Mhm.
I think Philly fans and part of his team help. I mean, you got Embiid, who is he's just next level. Let's just put it that way. He is, right?
Yeah.
He's clogging up the lane. Well, guess what? You got a 6'8" point guard in Ben Simmons. What are you supposed to do? Go down there with Embiid? You can't. He has to develop a jumper. And I get that he needs it. But the rumblings are Sexton and Love for Ben Simmons.
Oh.
Because it matches up.
That'd be nice to get rid of Love.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're getting rid of a bad contract to take on a loaded contract and a guy that you're hoping.
But it's not a 36-year-old loaded contract.
Right. You're bringing in a guy that you're hoping you can turn around his confidence. And I don't have a lot of confidence in our culture to do that for someone like him.
Right.
And it's difficult to watch him. He's not passing the ball with ease like he used to as a playmaker because that's the right play to make and has that basketball IQ and he has it. He has that basketball IQ to make plays for other people. He's passing it because he doesn't have confidence in himself to make that shot. If he comes here, I'm gonna root for him, and it's Cleveland through and through always. But I don't know if you guys saw anything from First Take today and Stephen A. Smith. I know it's sometimes taking a grain of salt with some of those guys, but the New York scene and the Philly scene are two spots that he has really tapped into from his beat reporter days. He got a text on air from someone that he clamored for. Again, this is from Stephen A. Smith. This isn't me believing it, but a guy like that is going to get good sources all the time. And someone texted him during the show about Ben Simmons saying he doesn't like to put in the work. He just looks at everybody like family and kind of gets babied. And that's what, quote unquote, that's the text that Stephen A. Smith got. I'm not saying that it's true, but Ben Simmons is a guy that, when you listen to that and then look back at how his career has gone, boy, it makes you ponder, makes you think for a second. That's for sure.
Well, we're just going to stop it right there because
put me in the hot seat over here.
I'm sorry, I have to, Kevin.
Hey, I'll take it. Basketball, I'll take all day. I know I've joked early, but I'll take basketball all day, and that's why I said on my show this week on Voice of the Land that as much as I love the Browns and I'll cry if they win a Super Bowl, if you were to ask me right now which one I would rank higher, it would be the CAF championship just because it means more off the floor than it does just as a sport for how my dad and I and how my dad brought me up and kind of my connection to the sport goes deeper than just basketball that you see on the floor. So it holds a special place in my heart. It's probably blasphemous to Cleveland fans, but I understand it's a football town.
I more Indians, so I get it. But you're ready for this?
I'm ready.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
Love it.
It is definitely time for Fat Boy Tuesday, and he snickers every time I play that sound. I love that sounder. That is like my favorite sounder now. So with that being said, we just had Father's Day. We had my Twittersaurus birthday. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on this weekend. And I watched my 2 8-year-olds eat a whole watermelon within a matter of like 3 hours. So we are going to go summertime fruits here on Fat Boy Tuesday. We're going to bring my cousin Vinny back in on this one. So my summertime fruits. So let's get into summertime fruits. You have watermelon. You have cantaloupe. You have mushmelon, which I call mushmelon. It's honeydew. You have grapes. You have strawberries. Oh, strawberries. You have blueberries, raspberries. So this is right up your alley because of other Fat Boy Tuesdays that we've had have been on the heavier side let's just say, right?
Yeah.
The
Fair.
pound side, we haven't been on the healthy side in a while.
Yeah, they make me miss being able to eat those things all the time too. So, thanks for that.
Not a problem. So let's get into Fat Boy Tuesday. What do you guys think about summertime fruits? Like my big thing is watermelon. Oh my god, watermelon!
That's
get
number one for me.
Now I have to ask: do you guys use a salt shaker on that watermelon?
Never have, no. But
All right, well now you got to try.
yeah, you might have
You
to.
got to try. It makes it a little sweeter.
Okay.
Which
Salt
is
shaker.
weird. Which is weird. So my grandfather used to slice up a watermelon. I get to slice. He'd hand me a salt shaker, sprinkle of salt on top of it, take a bite. It actually makes it a lot sweeter, which is shocking. Is there any other fruit? Oh, what about kiwi?
Ooh,
There we
kiwi.
go. Kiwi? Are we all on board on kiwi?
I like
Like
kiwi.
kiwi.
All right. So tell me some summertime fruits that you guys like to get into. Let's go with, I got to bring in my cousin Vinny first because he's been waiting at the chops. Kev's agreeing with me. So give me some summertime fruits, bud.
You know, I got to be honest with you. There's one fruit that my youngest has kind of brought up, and that's dragon fruit.
Oh,
Have you ever had dragon fruit before?
I have not.
I have not.
We were at Giant Eagle. We were walking through. She goes, "Oh, dragon fruit. We got to get some. We got to get like 3 of them." Well, first thing, like, it's like $4 or $5, like for each one of these things. So it is expensive. At least for me, it is. And I'm going, I don't know. I really don't go out shopping too often.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these things. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's get one. Yeah. Okay. One for you, one for me, one for mommy. All right. Yeah, let's do this. I tried it. There's no taste to it. It's just kind of like a sliminess to it. Have you guys ever had dragon fruit before?
No, none of us have had dragon fruit.
Pick one up and give it a try.
All right.
They're like, there really is. Like they've had like Trident gum dragon fruit.
Yeah.
It kind of has a little bit of a taste to it. Like dragon fruit itself really doesn't have a taste to it. It was the most bizarre thing in the whole world. And you see all the, it's like, it's white on the inside. It's like magenta on the outside. And then when you slice this thing open, it's kind of a slimy-ish white and with like black dots all over in it. So I assume those are seeds.
Yeah.
But give it a try.
All right, now I
You gotta try this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never tried it, so there's another one on the list I gotta try, Bri.
Yep.
Brian's
Go
not
for it.
around his camera.
Getting
Earthquake
busy over
down
here.
in Medina.
So Brian, what's your one favorite fruit? What was that?
I don't know.
The windows open over there. It's some big. I think it drives past every single day. It's like this pickup truck, but they got like the huge exhaust. Like they.
Oh, throw down the
Decked it all
spike
out.
strip.
Yeah.
That will stop 'em.
Harpsichord.
All right, so Brian, give me your favorite fruit for the summer.
Well, if I had to pick one, I'm not a huge watermelon guy. My wife and I were just talking about this the other day. I love watermelon flavored stuff. But I
Yeah,
really don't like watermelon.
What
I'll
if
eat
there's-
it. Don't
what
get
if
me
there's
wrong.
vodka in it? Because that's the greatest
Oh, yeah.
thing about
No.
watermelon is you just pour a bottle of vodka in that thing and let's have a party.
Never tried it.
What?
No,
Oh,
I would. It doesn't
All
sound bad.
We gotta get a watermelon and a bottle of vodka.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Jeez.
But as far as the ones that I do like, I love me some pineapple.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
a
forgot
little
about
sweet, so it's not my number one. My number one, I'd probably say, would be cantaloupe.
Oh,
A nice cold cantaloupe, you can't
Oh,
beat
yeah.
that. I love
right.
it.
so Kevan, this is right up your alley, right?
Yeah, I know.
Did I not hit it out of the park?
Yeah, you did, because we actually just had, usually when we buy fruit here, we always say like, let's cut it up. Like as soon as we get it home from the grocery store, we set it down, we sit down, we don't ever do it, and then by the time we cut it up, it's got like 1 day left and trying to eat it. We actually just had some cantaloupe, honeydew, and watermelon that were all like pristine, like to the best ripeness, like that perfect flavor and everything. And I was making myself fruit salads to go to work with. I mean, it was just watermelon is always my number one, but give me, like Bri just said, give me a good cantaloupe. I can always count on going to Grandpa's house, and especially during the summertime, them having a big bowl of perfect cantaloupe in the fridge for him. And I only go there like one day a week. Try to get over there as much as I can, but only one day a week. I gotta sneak myself a few pieces before he eats it all up, because I know it's gonna hit the spot. Even though you're not craving it, it hits the spot.
Oh yeah. So my big thing, and growing up where I grew up at, for us, we had watermelon, we had cantaloupe. That wasn't the thing that got me the most. The thing that got me the most was black raspberries or strawberries. You get a bucket, you can go out on the hill and just find a briar bush and start picking raspberries nonstop. Now, granted, I would eat half of them as I'm one for me, one for the bucket, one for me, one for the bucket. That's how I got this big. But
for me and raspberries, you got that big?
Well, black raspberry pie too.
There's
other things involved with
lots of sugar.
Was there other stuff on the pie?
Lots of sugar.
Definitely more than just blackberries.
Thank you, Vinny.
Was it more than just pie too?
Pizza pie.
Did the slice of pie come with like some toppings and some other
cheese and bacon and
even the guest is kicking me?
It's a free for all now. Yeah, you brought this upon yourself.
Curious.
It was a lot of Big Macs. Let's be honest.
Thank you. It has nothing to do with raspberries.
It has nothing to do with raspberries. Big Macs and French fries. All right.
Thank you.
But no. That was grown up in peaches. We haven't brought up peaches. I miss like a peach cobbler or an apple cobbler or a cherry. Give me cobblers all day. I eat cobblers like you would believe. Like I'm sorry, I can't, like, especially peach. Peaches are like my big thing. I don't know. I'll just grab them off, start eating them. Even
they
the
crispy, crispy or like softer stage for peaches for you? Because my dad was always big at like when the peaches were soft. I liked them like just starting to ripen them when they were crisp.
I like them crisp because I could eat them as an apple. If they were soft, it was like, I like crisp ones.
It's just the juice gets everywhere. Like the flavor's good, but it just, I don't know, it's just too big of a mess for me at least. I was like the crisp, and I could cut it into slices or just eat it right off, and then those are the ones where the seed in the middle just comes right out. You don't got to worry about it broken or anything.
Nope.
Now, do you guys eat peaches like you would eat an apple, or do you shave the outer edge off?
I eat it like an apple.
I eat it like an apple.
I eat it like that. Hey, look at this guy. I'm not waiting to shave something off the skin.
I don't have many food options. I gotta get my nutrients now.
I got time to wait.
Oh my
food options have drastically reduced, so I gotta enjoy anything I can eat.
I'm whittling away
the
here.
Ultimate extreme.
All right, well, let's get out of Fat Boy Tuesday because honestly, we do have a time strain. Not really, but we do. Let's get into our top three. All right, and I gotta click this over. Let's see here. I forgot about. Let me go to the Fat Boy Tuesday, summertime fruit. And top three today is memories from the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers championship. So let me play our sounder. All right. So our top three is not brought to you by anybody, but it could be. So hit us up at Legal Ham in the Face, at I Am That Fat Guy, or find us on Facebook at Legal Hand in the Face or YouTube. So, Bri, I'm going to go to you first. Give me your top three 2016 championship moments.
Okay. I don't know how you guys did this, but I tried to think outside the box a little bit because, for me, it's going to be the moment they won the championship, the Kyrie shot, the LeBron block. And so the parade, all of that. I tried to maybe put that aside. And
Well, you went different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's going to be a lot of people's. So I tried to break it down game by game. And so, to be honest, I don't remember a whole lot from games 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just remember games 5, 6, and 7 like they were yesterday. So I tried to pick a moment from each game or a series of moments. And so my game 5 moment, which would be my number 3, will be Kyrie. Just was unhuman. I know LeBron put up 41, Kyrie put up 41, but you go back and watch that game. Kyrie, through the first 3 quarters, he couldn't miss. He was next level. If he could have kept that up for a whole career, he'd have been the best player in the world, hands down. It was so much fun to watch. I think at one point he was like 12 for 15, and he just could not miss. So that's my game 5 moment. Game 6, number 2. We were blowing them out the whole time, so it's hard to come up with a moment, but when Curry threw his mouthpiece, that was next level. I loved everything. I just wish the fan that he hit picked up his mouthpiece, went to hand it back to him, and then they chucked it into the stands. I wish he would have done something like that just to disrespect him even more, because I think back to that series and just how much I sports hated Steph Curry, and
oh my Lord,
yeah, and LeBron also blocking him and talking trash to him. That's what sports is all about. So when you hear about the two of them potentially meeting up, kind of takes it away from that. But I love that. And then game 7, my number 1 is not the block, not the shot, not the stop. I'm going to go with a JR to start the third quarter, getting us back in that game.
Hot.
Yeah, and just hitting a couple shots where we really needed it, because LeBron was doing his thing, Kyrie was doing his thing. We just needed somebody else to step up and start scoring, and JR gave us that spark and got us back into it.
All right, I'm going to go to my cousin Vinny for his top 3.
So, I don't follow all the games and everything all super closely like you guys do a lot of times. Haven't really been too huge into the Cavs or kind of any sports for the most part. I like to watch it. I like to have fun. So kind of from an outside perspective, my number 3 kind of seems a little off. And that was actually when the Warriors beat us in the second game. What was it? 110-77.
Yeah,
And
that was bad.
Kicked our butts.
They did, especially in the second game, but it started the fuel for the fire. So it really got us going, which really kind of leads me to my number 2 at that point, is the Cavs winning game 3, 120-90. That huge explosion that kind of happened. We were on home turf. It was time to bring Cleveland back to light in that situation. So, I understand game 4 at home. We ended up losing that one. What was that? 97-108, actually. But again, it kind of, listen, our best still isn't good enough. We need to still kick it up to the next level again. To see Kevin Love playing as good as he was doing, to see everybody really gelling and playing the best basketball that we've ever seen here in Cleveland. My number 1 is just holding that trophy up after that 93-83 win.
There it is.
Yeah.
So
It's all about.
All right, so Kev, we're going to save you for last. All right. So my number 3 is I got to go with the Kevin Love D-up on Steph. Who would have thought Kevin Love played defense? Not this guy, but he did that game. It doesn't matter. He did his job. All right.
He knew he was looking for a 3. I mean, all you have to do is play the 3. He wasn't driving it to the hoop at all.
So at that point in time, my number 2, and yes, you have the block, you have the shot, you have everything else. I'm with Bry. JR coming out hot in the third quarter and throwing it up like crazy. What do you have, 3 or 4 in a row?
I think he either scored 7 or 10 points pretty quickly in the first half of the third quarter.
Bang, 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 right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
My number one memory, and I actually woke my kids up for this, and they were, they're 16, they were 3 years old. And I grabbed both my boys and I pulled them out for it. And the cry from LeBron going, Cleveland, this is for you. I held both of my kids. I was crying like a little baby at that point in time, just being so invested in this team. And my boys will probably never remember that. I wish they would, but that was a proud moment because my wife had no clue what was going on. I kicked open her door. I started screaming. I kicked open the kids' door. They're in bed. I'm like, I don't care. Let's go. I grabbed them out of there, and I'm holding both of them, and they're just like trying to figure out what's going on. And that's the only thing I heard was, Cleveland, this is for you. And that is like my biggest
goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
I still get goosebumps hearing that. Every time I hear that on ESPN or anywhere else, Cleveland, this is for you. We haven't had a team or a person say that in so long. And to hear it, to feel it and hear it changes everything for this city.
And the fact that it was on Father's Day and so many fathers never got to celebrate a championship with their kids.
Nope. I really did.
So special.
My wife asked me, she goes, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm watching the Cavs game. You go to the bedroom. Kids are going to bed. I'm watching the Cavs game. And I stayed up for everything. I watched the last shot. I even watched like the last few seconds going, and I don't even know why I watched the last few seconds, because when they missed the first 3, they're already down 4. Why the hell am I watching the last part of this game? Doesn't matter if they shoot a 3 or not. The game's over.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? Like, Spade gets the ball. Like, oh, Spade got the ball. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. The game's over. All right. So, Kevin, give me your top 3 memorable moments of 2016.
Well, this is where it means the most to me. So going to take a little bit of a different approach like Bry did. Number 3 would be the parade. And of course, today, recording June 22nd, 2021 is the 5-year anniversary of having an actual championship parade here in Cleveland. Not
1.3 million.
I was part of the 1.3 million. I can accurately say.
Yeah.
I was working downtown actually at CSU with a summer camp at the time, and we're checking the kids in at 7 a.m. and I'm already seeing people with bag chairs walking past on 24th and Chester, walking past the doors to go get their spot at 7 a.m. in the morning. And we, our shift ended about midday around lunch, right as the parade was kicking off and getting down 9th Street. So we found a spot, able to be a part of that because I haven't had a chance to be a part of many big moments like that. So number 3 is the parade. Number 2, I put that last minute 45, 2 minutes of the game kind of in one sector with, of course, LeBron block and I have a shirt that has the picture of the block that I wear all the time. So like,
love it.
I have it as my background screen.
Love it
on my phone.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, who knows what would happen.
Been carrying that shirt around any place I go, just to put some stuff on to celebrate as much as I can. So I put those last 2 minutes kind of together. Like if I were to go top moments of actual basketball being played, we could break that down forever. But so I'll put that together as number 2. But number 1 for me, and it probably always will be, it was probably a matter of 2 seconds. It felt like 2 hours. Being in line at Dick's Sporting Goods to go get the championship gear, and my dad kind of getting out of his car and getting over to my sister and I in line, and the hug that we shared, that moment, that will always be, and I mean, I'm kind of tearing up right now. Right. That will always be the number 1 memory that I have of the entire championship, because while like I said, it's a football town, and 52 years of all the teams not winning a championship, basketball, that one, to break the drought, that one will always mean a lot. And it's the connection that I have with my dad and what he has meant to me, bringing me up to be who I am today as a man. My sports fandom, basketball, right there. Hopefully, if the Indians can ever win one and Grandpa's around, that'll be that kind of moment too. But that hug with my dad, number one, yeah, and
Awesome.
that'll never change.
So I'm going to bring it up to you guys. I think what we should do, ESPN always does their 30 for 30s.
Mm-hmm.
That summer in Cleveland and fall was unreal. And I already know they did Believe Land and all that stuff, but they didn't picture in the Indians at the World Series. They didn't, like, that whole year was just amazing just for Cleveland.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, we are here at the trivia time.
Yeah.
All right. So, gentlemen, I asked you in Game 7 of 2016. We have our 5 starters: LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson. Who were the other 3 people? And there was only 3 people played in that game.
I'll go first because I think
Okay.
Kevin probably has a better chance of getting this than I do. But I'm confident in 2 of them. The third one's going to be a struggle. So one I'm confident in is Richard Jefferson.
That's 1.
Another one, Amon Shumpert.
That's 2.
And the other one, I was trying to think. I don't think Delhi played. I don't think Mozgov played. The other 2 guys I was down to, and maybe there was no garbage time or nothing, but James Jones was one guy, and the guy I'm gonna go with, Dante Jones.
Oh,
Shoot!
all right.
He played Game 6. But
he played those key 5 minutes in Game 6 when
we have
every
Shumpert
single
and Jefferson. Who is number 3?
Wow.
He played a whopping 4.5 minutes. He scored 1 field goal on 3 shots.
I want to say Mo Williams played in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy
Nice.
cow.
He scored, huh?
Because I can actually see in my mind, I can see Delhi full warm-ups the entire time. Channing Frye, full warm-ups with the vocal leader on the bench the entire time. Some of the other guys that would typically play, like I knew Dante Jones was Game 6. James Jones never played.
Did you
Mozgov, you're not going to play him against the Warriors.
Did you Google it?
No, I have
Don't you lie to
picture
me.
of the I have the picture of the team up here just so I, can go, just have them in front of me. But I'm going with I was just trying to use the images of them because there's pictures of them playing in the series. Like I was trying to think who played.
Mo Williams played 4.5 minutes.
And he scored.
He was 1 for 3. So
if you guys don't believe me, I'll send you my.
Everybody else, Mozgov didn't play.
No.
Like the list, I started laughing when I looked at it. I'm like, there's 5 people and 2 more, and that's it. All right. Oh, wait, there's Mo Williams.
Yep.
So, guys, we have got to get in my cousin Vinny's word of the day before we close out the show. All right.
Yeah.
So it is, what is it, Vinny?
The word is jacund.
Jacund.
Oh.
Now, the way that's spelled, though, is Jocund.
Oh, my Lord.
So,
I am horrible at this. All right.
what is the definition?
Of jacund. Is it a verb?
Adjective.
Adjective. All right. So,
Thank you, Merriam-Webster. I wouldn't have known that otherwise.
I'm going to go with bright and colorful.
Okay.
All right. Vinny?
No, Bri.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, Vinny, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Vinny.
Yeah.
What do you
I'm like,
think?
I'm not
Right?
answering
What do you
this.
think the definition, Vinny?
Sorry. You can take a stab at it.
Well,
but-
all right.
I'll say feisty.
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 Sure.
Okay.
All right, come on.
Just because this is what this piece of the show is making me feel, I'm gonna go agitated or aggravated.
Interesting.
All right.
All
So,
right.
Vinny, what is the word of the day?
So, to be marked by or suggestive of high spirits and lively mirthfulness is the exact definition. So,
I'm closest, right?
Yeah, probably.
yeah, to be of high spirits and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you are actually the closest.
You have a metaphorical, colorful spirit to
Colorful.
you.
I said
right?
bright or
I
colorful.
liked it. Agreeable or delightful.
Don't be a hater over there. All right.
Is
I want-
mistfulness next week's word?
Which one? What?
What was the definition again?
The definition again was marked by or suggestive of high spirits and lively mirthfulness.
Mirthfulness.
what
Maybe
the
that'll
heck
be
is
next.
mirthfulness?
Well, there's your word of the day for next week, like Brian just said.
Yeah.
So,
We'll find that out
Possibly.
next week.
Feisty for that one too.
that's how you tease right there.
There you
Tune in next week.
All right. So,
go.
Kevin, thank you so much for coming
course.
on with us. It's so much fun having you guys on with us. I appreciate everything, bud. I really do. And
Absolutely.
find him on Voice of the Land or at Big Play. And he is at KevinN7 on Twitter. And you got to throw some Pixar pics at him. He loves them.
Oh, I love it.
He loves them.
Pixar all day. Pixar MCU all day.
All right.
Wally.
Zawali. All right. So, Brian, give him a God bless.
Yep. God bless you. God bless America.
Vinny, give him a good night.
Hey, have a good night, everybody.
We are Legal Hand with Face. We support our troops and our first responders and everything that they do. Thank you guys so much for what you do. Kevan, stay on for just 1 second after this. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded, and we're out. See ya.
Jacond.